I'm Becky Cortino. I'm an author, international speaker, currently writing a book on forgiveness. In this Facebook Live series that I've been doing this month of August, I've shared with you some ideas that I have learned, things that I've discovered, and this has all come about in terms of my writing my forgiveness book. And I want to make a special note that I'm actually presenting ideas and thoughts in a small soundbite, this Facebook Live. I think we all recognize the fact that forgiveness is a very complex concept. So of course it's going to take more than a 10-point bullet list for you to check off various things that you're going to do and all will be well. I think we know that. I've known people who have read probably everything published on forgiveness and they still feel like they don't really have a handle on it completely. And maybe this is our quest as human beings, always wanting to do better, always wanting to improve things, and caring about people. Relationships are a huge issue. So I just wanted to point out that I'm really sharing based on my passion and what I've learned, and I'm hopeful that this will help you with any questions, concerns, or thoughts. And also, I also hope that it will help you to think in new ways. Maybe see something just a little bit differently, because I have been very surprised by what I've learned. I want to say hi to Lisa. I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you for joining me. It means so much to see you all here, and I also know that people are catching these videos at other times, and that's great. I hope that the information and things that I present here are helpful and maybe just inspiring and uplifting and giving you some new ideas. We've been discussing what is forgiveness and what is not forgiveness of late. And we know for a fact that forgiving someone is not a power play. We know that it's not a win, right? We know that. What it really is extending grace to someone over a matter and hopefully to resolve that matter. Maybe you felt like you deserved some forgiveness or you wanted to extend grace to someone and you were wondering, where is forgiveness? Maybe you thought for sure someone should come up to you and say, hey, by the way, I'm so sorry about, and then they never did, about that thing, that time, whatever, and they never did. Well, maybe you've been wondering, where is that place of forgiveness? Where is it? Well, it is a place, first of all. That's really, and these are just ideas that I have come up with. You may be thinking of some other things as well, and I hope so. But a place is where you'll find forgiveness within yourself. A lot of times when we recognize that there's a situation that maybe has been a long-term issue or challenge or just something kind of eating at us that has maybe been long-standing or it could have just happened yesterday or today. We find ourselves in a place and realize that we have a need for forgiveness or to extend grace to someone. And that's really a starting point. We may even stand and look back over the past and realize some silly kind of thing happened, or now it seems silly to us. At the time maybe it was an emotional reaction where we got really upset, and at the time it was really a big deal to us. And then we realized that maybe it wasn't quite what we thought it was. I think a lot of us can probably say that we have been through this as well. So we kind of come down the road a little bit further from that. So we find ourselves in a new place a little further down the road, and we realize that we might like to get that taken care of. So we're going to start out, and that's where we are. We find ourselves in a place where we need to make a change, or we would like to restore a situation or make something better. Well, when we do that, our mind begins to change about the issue, the matter, the situation, whatever. The mind is a great place where things can begin to make changes within our lives, so we can do things that maybe we had not thought of before, but because we realized that we are now in this place and begin to think of things a little bit differently and kind of seeing things maybe differently than we did before, maybe more clearly, in fact, while the smoke is cleared, if you will, and we say, wow, I am seeing things just a little bit differently, and I think maybe that wasn't such a big deal, or maybe it's more important that we just get past this bump in the road. So when we begin to think of that, then our heart can change as well, and that's really where the big changes happen. Once we can see things a little bit differently, then our hearts can change too. And that is the other area where you can find forgiveness. Because once your heart changes and you're seeing things differently and you're in a place to make that change, then forgiveness can be found. It can be found for you to extend to someone else, or perhaps even if you have something that you yourself want to go up and say, and it can be a daunting process, no doubt. I think we've all found ourselves there. And you say to that person, I'm really sorry I did this. And they may be so shocked, or maybe they never even realize it, and you are just thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. And they'll say, oh, no problem, or whatever. But they will probably realize that you really mean that, and they may look at it differently, or it may have been something that had been on their mind all this time. Now, the third place that I've found to say is a place where you can find forgiveness is life. And that's living a life filled with forgiveness and with love. Always with love. Loving more than, say, beyond even that place. And that's the other place where forgiveness can be found. I mean, every day things happen to us, right? Big and small, wherever you may be. And you are finding people that you could actually want to provide some kind of grace or forgiveness to for something big or small, whatever that might be. We don't even know. Any situation could come up while we're out at a store. And as we begin to think about these things, you may find that you have opportunities that you've let pass by. And you'll begin to realize, it's just sort of funny because I think once we begin thinking about this in this way, that even big and small, you can make someone feel really so much better when they do something that they thought was just really silly and they're kind of embarrassed, and you say, oh no, it's okay, and in a genuine way. It can really make a big difference. And of course the bigger issues, well, that is the more complex part of forgiving, isn't it? And we've all been there, and we are all there, and we always have something to work on. But I hope these ideas and thoughts that I'm sharing with you are helpful and inspiring to you, and I hope that you find maybe even some things that you hadn't thought of as well that may help you along the way. If you're interested in reading more about what I've written on forgiveness, please do visit my website, beckycortino.com, and there is a link there also that you can sign up for book updates on my forgiveness book and news, and love to have you join that if you would like as well to receive that information. And I hope that tomorrow you'll plan to catch my next Facebook Live video as I share with you reflections on my writing this book on forgiveness, things that I personally have experienced as well. It's often interesting to hear what writers have encountered after they begin writing, and I really look forward to sharing that with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lisa, great to see you, and I hope that I will see you all again soon, and take care.